I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Without consistency, you'll never finish. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams.
An FBI agent, her name is Agent Olivia Dunham, falls asleep one night with the television set on, and she has a dream. The name of this episode was called Bad Dreams, an episode of a television show called Fringe. And in this dream, someone gets murdered. She wakes up and she sees on her television screen the image of the very person that was murdered in her dream. And then the news reporter begins to describe the gruesome details of this murder, and they correspond exactly to what she saw in that dream. And at first she thinks this is just coincidence. She tells a friend about it, and her friend says it's just a combination of stress and sleeplessness, and she probably shouldn't make too big of a deal out of it. So she has another dream, and that dream also comes true. Then she has another dream, and that dream also comes true. And she begins to realize that these dreams have meaning. And so she does what we all do when we have dreams that provoke us. She sought out external validation and support. She goes to the FBI and she says, "I need your resources, I need your support. I'm having these dreams are coming true, and if you can invest in me, I can go out there and I can do something about it." And they responded to her in the same way the world responds to you when you talk about your dreams. They said, "You need a little bit more sleep." And so they didn't give her the support. And so she starts to get a little stressed out, a little paranoid, and then she has a radical idea. More important than trying to convince other people to validate and support my dreams is doing whatever is within the realm of my power to do to save one human life. And so she does something crazy. She steps outside of the system, the permission-based system. And she gets out there and she breaks the rules and she tries to save a life even though it puts her at great risk, and she succeeds. She actually saves one life. And then and only then, the FBI decides that they will put their full support behind her and she's able to go on to solve more crimes. Like Agent Dunham, we all have dreams. And like Agent Dunham, we have to figure out a way to create results in the absence of support. There's a basic concept in physics called inertia. Inertia is typically understood in terms of tendencies, right? An object at rest tends to stay at rest. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. So when you try to make things happen, you're gonna go out into the world that's gonna beat you up and make you look crazy and make you feel crazy. You will experience kickback from the world that says, "I'm not gonna make this easy on you." So I want to challenge you to make a decision, because the force that changes the world, it's not dreams, it's the power of choice. I want to challenge you to surround yourself with people that won't let you get away with talking, but who will challenge you to do until gets done. Because at the end of the day, it's not dreams that come true, it's only decisions that do. Thank you.
I will never never forget that cup of coffee. Well, a couple years ago, I was traveling when my schedule worked out on Christmas Eve. I thought the airport was going to be a zoo, so I got there a couple hours early. It wasn't crowded at all, so for me, that means coffee. So I get down into my terminal, Terminal D, and I see the green sign. And when I travel these days, I always wear earbuds, so I'm rocking out to Coldplay. And I see the sign, I get in line, and there's one woman in front of me, and she's having a very animated conversation with the barista. She's kind of waving her arms, and they're both smiling and laughing. So I wasn't in a rush, but out of curiosity, I popped out my earbuds. And sure enough, they're going on about their holidays and their plans and the kids and presents, and she starts to move down the line. So it's my turn to order. And I was greeted with this very warm and sincere welcome. This woman said to me, "Hi, my name's Lily. What's your name?" I said, "I'm Ryan." She said, "Ryan, what can I make for you today?" I said, "Well, I want a grande pumpkin spice latte." She said, "You want whipped cream on that, don't you?" I said, yeah, I want the whipped cream. She said, "I'll tell you what I'm going to do." She said, "I'm going to make it extra hot, load it up with whipped cream, sprinkle a little nutmeg on top. That's how I like it. You're going to love it." I said, "Sounds great." She said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Cleveland." She said, "Are you going back to Cleveland to spend the holiday with your family?" I said, "Yes." Now, at this point, I start looking around for the camera, right? I'm trying to get a latte. So I move down the line, and the conversation continues, and she's funny. She's asking me questions about my family and our holiday traditions. She's laughing, and I'm laughing, and she hands me my drink and says to me, "Ryan, have a safe trip back to Cleveland. Go create some extraordinary memories with your family. When you come back through the Minneapolis airport, I want you to stop here and tell me all about it." As I get my drink, I start walking away, and I stop and I look back at this woman, and I think to myself, it's Christmas Eve. Most people would rather be anywhere else in the world than serving coffee in an airport. Not her. It was like she was meant to be there. And I couldn't help myself. I had to go back. So I did. I walked back and I said, "Excuse me, Lily." And she jumps around. "Ryan, is everything okay with the latte?" I said, "No." I said, "The latte is perfect. I just had to come back and ask you, what is your secret to making such meaningful connections over serving coffee?" Well, she corrected me. She said, "Ryan, I'm not serving coffee." I said, "Okay, what are you doing?" She had thought about this. And what she told me was, "I'm pouring happiness into people's lives." I said, "You're pouring what?" Like, what is pouring happiness? And her definition of pouring happiness, she wants to be happy in her life. She wants to be around happy people. She cares about her customers. She wants them to come back. So she chooses, even on Christmas Eve, to smile, to have fun, to help people, to just be happy. Instead of just focusing on how to be successful, focus on how to be helpful. The other thing she understands and masters straight away is the very specific and intentional decision around how she chooses to show up, even on Christmas Eve. You know this. A lot of things happen in work and in our lives that are beyond our sphere of influence or control. She doesn't control the weather in Minneapolis. Trust me, I live there. All she gets to own is how she chooses to respond to those things. Decide how you show up. It's interesting, when I met Lily, and she would have had no way of knowing this, but I was pretty heavy in the heart and had a lot on my mind. My parents, both retired school teachers, married 45 years. About 3 months before that holiday, I got a call from Mom. We got some really tough medical news about Dad. It was a terminal diagnosis, and we knew we probably weren't going to have a lot of time. So I was sitting in that airport on Christmas Eve, not in the best place in the world. I will never forget that cup of coffee. When you decide to show up consistently as the best version of who you are, it gives you your best opportunity to meet people where they are. And you never know when someone needs you to be your best.